Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Amelia Mulyani. In this video, I will explain the 8 types of part of speech. Part of speech has an important role to form a sentence so that it is unified and fit the grammar of the sentence. Part of speech is a classification of words categorized through the role and function in sentences of a language. Part of speech in English is divided into each types, namely, the first one is noun. Noun is a word that names something such as a person, place, things, or idea in a sentence. Noun can act as a subject, direct object, indirect object, subject complement, a positive or adjective. Nouns make up a large part of the English vocabulary and they come in many different types among them. A noun can name a person, for example, Emily, Alexa, Excel, and others. And then, noun can also name place, for example, Bali, Semarang, Jakarta, and others. And noun can also name objects, although sometimes they are intangible, such as concepts, activities, or processes. Some might even be hypothetical or imaginary things. For example, noun as a subject. Each sentence must have a subject, and that subject will always be a noun. The subject of the sentence is the person, place, or thing that does or becomes a verb in that sentence. And then, noun as a subject. Each sentence must have a subject, and the subject will always be a noun. The subject of our sentence is the person, place, or thing that does or becomes a verb in the sentence. And next is the noun as an object. Noun can also be the object of a verb in a sentence. Object can be either direct object, noun that execute action performed by the subject, or indirect object, noun that receive direct object. For example, give the book to her. A book is a direct object, what is given, and he is an indirect object to whom it is given. And then there are also countable nouns versus nouns that cannot be counted. Countable nouns are countable nouns, although the number might be unusually high, like counting everyone in the world. Countable noun can be used with a and the some, any, some, and many. For example, here is a cat. The cat is single and obviously countable. Whereas uncountable noun are noun that comes in circumstances or amount that are impossible to count. Liquid are incalculable, as are objects that act like liquid and are. They have always been considered singular and can be used with several, anything, few, and many. For example, an IQ test measures intelligence. The second one is a pronoun. Pronouns are short words that we exchange for other nouns to make our writing and speech faster and more varied. Pronouns can replace appropriate and common nouns. Certain pronouns have specific rules about when they can be used, such as how pronouns should not be used to refer to humans. Here are some types of pronouns. The first one is personal pronouns. Personal pronouns are pronouns that refer to specific individuals and groups. People pronouns include I, he, she, them, we, and you. For example, my family loves Neko. Noun and their pronouns are not emphasized. That's because in this sentence, there are not fewer pronouns because that do not reflect the right noun, but rather us. And then demonstrative pronouns to replace the point word according to number as well as the distance. For example, this, that, this, and thus. And then interrogative to ask question. For example, who, which, whom, what, and what. And next, indefinite to state a general thing. For example, another, anything, everyone, everything, someone, nothing, and anywhere. And then possessive to show ownership or ownership. For example, mine, your, her, and his. And next, reciprocal pronouns to denote a word when two or more of the subject perform the same action against each other. For example, each other and one another. And then relative pronoun for relative clause. For example, we, which, whom, and whose. And next, reflexive to state that the subject receives the action of the verb. For example, myself, yourself, ourselves, and themselves. And the last one is intensive. For example, himself, herself, ourselves, and themselves. And next, the third one is adjective. An adjective is a word that modifies a noun. They are often called words that describe because they give us more detail about noun, such as what, white horse, how many three boys, or which last house. Adjectives do not change verb or other adjective. Uh, and then predicate adjective, although many adjectives fall before the noun they modify. As in the examples above, thus used in the sentences or clauses with linking verb fall after the noun they modify. Linking verb describe a state of being rather than an action. The most common linking verb is to be, and others include sensor verb like appear, seem, look, smell, sound, and taste. For example, Cynthia is fatigued. Does muffin look delicious? The sunrise seems golden. Do you think this spaghetti sauce tastes spicy? With linking verb, adjective like particular, delicious, golden, and spicy all fall after the noun they modify. Cynthia, muffin, sunrise, and spaghetti sauce. The verb is verb as the accents of sentences and clauses. Verb indicate what the subject does or feels, even if it only exists. Verb also the only type of word that is absolutely necessary to create sentences. Even nouns, which represent things, do not need to be in every sentence. The first one is dynamic verb. A dynamic verb is a verb that indicates activity, so it is also called the action verb. For example, run, walk, sing, read, bring, climb, jump, sweat, and others. The second one is static verb. A static verb is a verb that expresses a condition or state. Therefore, it is also known as a test verb. For example, love, hate, like, dislike, and others. And next, auxiliary helping verb. Auxiliary verb or helping verb are used in English to change another verb tense, poise, or mood. When auxiliary verbs are used, there is always a main verb that represents the main action. However, the auxiliary verb must still be conjugated correctly. The main, auxiliary verb are be, have, and do. We explain how they are used specifically for conjugating below. But here are a few quick examples. I have eaten sushi many times before. Tense. That piece of sushi was eaten by me. And did you eat my sushi? And the next one is modal auxiliary verb. Some auxiliary verbs are added to another verb to show necessity, possibility, or capability. Like other auxiliary verb, modal auxiliary verb are not the main verb, but they do change its meaning slightly. Some common examples are can, might, could, should, would, must, and others. And then, for example, I could swim across the English Channel, but should I do it? Or she must be the strongest person on the team and might be the strongest person in the present. The last one is phrasal verb. Phrasal verb are phrases that act as individual verb after combining two or more words and changing their meaning. The verb get, for for example, becomes many different phrasal verb when combined with different responses. When the bus, for example, when the bus stops, passenger get out on the sidewalk. After losing his job, he is getting by on savings. The important thing to remember about partial verb is that they act as a single verb, so you can still use them with other verb and prepositions. However, when you conjugate a phrasal verb, you only conjugate the part of the phrases that is actually a verb, like get. The fifth one is an adverb. Adverb is a word that describes an adjective, verb, or other adverb. As an adverb, the function of an adverb is to provide additional caption to the verb, adjective, or adverb itself. Adverb can also be grouped into several types such as manner, degree, frequency, place, and time. Here are the types of adverb, including the first one is adverb of manner. For example, well, softly, and quickly. The second one is adverb of degree. For example, just, almost, and so. And then adverb of frequency. For example, usually, always, and rarely. And then adverb of place. For example, in, above, and below. And the last one is adverb of time. For example, daily and yesterday. The sixth one is the preposition. The preposition function is to show the relationship between a noun and other words in a sentence. In addition, the preposition indicate the relationship between other words in a sentence. Preposition also have many prepositions that tell where something is or when something happened. However, most prepositions have several definitions, so their meaning changes slightly in different contexts. And then here are types of preposition. Is preposition indicate direction, time, location, and spatial relationship. as well as other abstract types of relationship. The first one is direction. For example, look to the left and you will see our destination. The, the second one is time. We have been working since this morning. And then location. For example, we saw a movie at the theater. And then the last one is space. For example, the dog hid under the table. The seventh one is conjunction. Conjunction are words that connect other words, phrases, or clauses. Conjunction is used to connect two words, phrases, clauses to sentences. There are three types of conjunction, namely coordinating, subordinating, and correlative conjunction. The type of conjunction include coordinating conjunction, relate two grammatical verbs to the same word with word, example, for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. Subordinating conjunction connect the parent sentence and the child sentence. Example, after, since, and although. And then the last one is correlative conjunction. Pirate hyphen. Example, not only, but also, either, and interjection. And the last one is interjection. Interjection, or small word that express a big feeling in one or two words, is one of the eight main part of speech. An interjection appears in sentences to regulate tone and emotions, although they are not grammatically related to other part of the sentence. Interjection indicate how the author to speaker feels. And use of interjection like wow and oh confirmation in a sudden and exclamational way. They are rarely used in academic or formal writing. They are more common in fiction or ordinary writing. They are offset by exclamation marks, commas, or period, depending on how strong the emotion are. Interjection itself can be encountered at the beginning of a sentence, in the middle of a sentence, and at the end of a sentence. And also sometimes as a self-contained sentence. The first one is beginning of sentences. Interjection are commonly used at the beginning of the sentence. They are also associated with a punctuation mark designed to convey emotion. The exclamation point, for example, oh no, I cannot believe that is snowing here again. Or, whoa, this is such a pleasant surprise. And then the last one is middle or end of sentences. Interjection don't always have to be at the beginning of a sentence. They can appear in the middle, at the end, or anywhere else where the author wants to interject a bit of feeling and emotion. For example, it is snowing again. I missed my turn. Darn it! So I have to wait even longer. Or it was a great dinner indeed. That's all for me. I apologize if there are many mistakes, whether it's speech or something else. Thank Thanks for attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.